What if some myths were never myths at all? For centuries, historians laughed at these creatures until evidence began to surface, and the strangest one is waiting at the end. 1. The giant squid. For hundreds of years, sailors told stories of massive tentacles dragging ships underwater. Historians called it fear and imagination. They named the creature the Kraken, but sailors kept reporting the same details: long arms, huge eyes, battles in deep water. Could thousands of people be wrong? In 2004, scientists finally filmed a live giant squid in the deep ocean. It was real, and it was bigger than many ships' lifeboats. But here's where it gets weird. Some recorded specimens were far larger than the ones we've seen alive. 2. The okapi. For years, African tribes spoke of a forest animal. It had a horse-like body and zebra stripes. European explorers laughed. They called it jungle folklore. In 1901, scientists discovered the okapi, a real animal, living deep inside the Congo rainforest. It looked exactly like the stories. Same stripes, same shape. So how many other tribal myths were simply animals we hadn't found yet? 3. The dire wolf. For decades, historians believed the dire wolf was just legend, a monster from Native American stories. Then fossils appeared, thousands of them. Dire wolves were real. They were larger than modern wolves, and far more powerful. Even stranger, in 2021, scientists extracted ancient DNA from dire wolf fossils. They discovered it wasn't even closely related to modern wolves. The legend wasn't exaggerated. It was misunderstood. 4. The megalodon. Ancient sailors spoke of a shark so large it could swallow boats. Historians dismissed it, until teeth were found. Massive teeth, bigger than a human hand. The megalodon was real, over 60 feet long. But here's where it gets weird. Some shark species thought extinct were later rediscovered. Could something that big really vanish completely? Or are we just not looking deep enough? 5. The Thunderbird. Native American tribes described enormous birds, wings wider than trees, capable of lifting animals. Historians called it myth. Then explorers in the 1800s reported seeing birds with wingspans over 20 feet. Fossils later confirmed giant birds once lived in North America. One species, Argentavis, had a wingspan larger than a small airplane. The stories weren't fantasy. They were memory. 6. The Irish elk. Medieval stories spoke of a deer with impossible antlers, too large to exist, so historians ignored it. Then skeletons were found, antlers over 12 feet wide. The Irish elk was real. It was one of the largest deer ever to live. Its antlers weren't decoration. They were used for combat and mating. Sometimes nature really is extreme. 7. The Homo floresiensis. For centuries, Indonesian legends spoke of small forest people. Historians laughed. In 2003, scientists discovered skeletons, only 4 feet tall, fully human. They named them Homo floresiensis. They lived alongside modern humans, used tools, hunted animals. The legends weren't stories. They were eyewitness accounts. History shows us something important. Not all myths are fake. Some are just waiting for evidence. So the next time you hear a legend, ask yourself, what if it's just undiscovered?